Well, good morning. Here we are on day 12, halfway through the book of Philippians. We're reading Philippians 3 today. We get some fantastic passages in Philippians 3 that are so memorable that they're on posters and bumper stickers and walls and artwork all over the place. Paul is talking about how much he gave up. He said, people like bragging about earthly things. Well, I got more to brag about than anybody. And he lists it. But he says, also, I consider everything to be a loss. Then what I think is the really cool part, he actually did lose it. It's one thing to consider something a loss and say, well, I don't care about this. But then when it's taken away, we may have to live out those words. And Paul actually did lose everything. But then he said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So these are some fantastic promises and attitudes that we need to copy. And the best attitude to copy here is when Paul tells us his goal. Now, he's in prison, he's suffering, and he still has goals. He still has a goal here. Look at verse 10. It's our focus for today. My goal is to know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being conformed to his death, and assuming that somehow I will reach the resurrection of the dead. So we have to know Jesus, and that's the most important goal in all of our lives, to build that relationship with Jesus. Knowing is always a matter of knowing by relationship. It's always a relationship word in the Bible. It's not a matter of head knowledge, but it's a character, it's a heart. So Paul is saying, even though I'm suffering, even though I'm in prison, movements are restricted, I can still know Christ. And sometimes we join him and know him more deeply through the fellowship of suffering. Be blessed.